Well, further behind the scenes evidence that we do actually do our own research. There's our transport historian Mike on the embankment at the side of what we think is the signal box at Steyning Station, and if we follow this along, in the bushes here are the remains of some steps, and they lead down to a wall, and that's where we believe the platform to have been. And there's our production manager, our production supervisor in the trees, standing on the platform alongside the platform wall. Further evidence here, there's producer Lou. Further evidence here, we have lots of bits of brickwork and concrete around, and yet there's no buildings to be seen, so these are obviously brickwork and concrete from the old signal box. This is a whole buried corner of the signal box. And if you look around carefully, there's evidence of other brickwork that's buried. And our transport historian Mike is up there looking for control cables and potentially ceramic insulators. So I've actually got my foot on the bottom step of what were obviously some stairs up the side of the embankment. So this would have been at the side, the railway just over there, platform just there, and a short bank here with some steps on it, obviously for maintenance, because this in the photographs was all gardens and looked very beautiful. Possibly the last person to use these steps, potentially, with the development work that's going to take place. Yeah, fantastic. Further evidence, if you come and zoom in on this,
look at
producer Lou, further evidence, control cables from the bottom of the box.
Yeah.
Probably very hard to see on the phone, you'll need to get much closer than that.
Can't see them myself. What am I aiming for?
You're aiming for that, which is a control cable that's just been cut off, left in the ground and cut off.
Mike, would you like to say a few words?
A few words. Wow, this is cool. This is really good. It's the sort of thing we love finding on Tracing the Rails, because it's literally tangible, touchable evidence of what we want here. It's fabulous. I love it.
What's down there, Catherine?
It's just the wall, not just the wall, but it's the wall and the platform, the Steyning Station. I went as far as I could, and then I got entangled in brambles, so I headed back this way.
And how far along does that wall go, would you say, roughly?
I think the wall will go all the way down to where Steve was, with the big maintaining wall. So all the way along. If I could get there, I would.
So we're just up from the station site at Steyning, and there's this rather intriguing chain attached to the wall. I've got no idea what it's for. No idea what it may have been used for. It's permanently attached, rusted away at that end. But
So where we are is in the episode where Steve shows the station. The end of this wall is a changing rooms or a waiting rooms. And that was the waiting rooms that he reached the other side of.
right, okay.
And Mike and I and Catherine are at the northerly end of that waiting room. Mike has also discovered a couple of interesting items.
Yes. So thrown away in the bushes was that, which to me looks very much like signal control cable. We did discover a bit further down a piece of cable sticking out the ground that we ascertained was power cable that came down one of the telegraph poles that was by the signal box. But that is either going to be signal control cable, because it's quite tightly woven. See the weave on it there. Or it's going to be a more electrical cable, but either or, it's fascinating to find it in the bushes. And also that is a Co-op milk bottle, still intact. They stopped delivering in what, the 70s?
70s, and it's the old Co-op
the old
logo.
Co-op logo. So I don't know if you can see that there.
Yes.
Got the Co-op. So yeah, all in all, a very productive day.
So Catherine, what have you found?
So when rooting around with the old wall, I've come across a ceramic insulator which would have been used to hold power lines either to the changing rooms, to the signal box, to the station itself.
Wow,
So, yeah.
That's a cracking find,
Nice
that
piece
is.
of treasure.
Yes, look at that.
I've gone as far as I can along the old wall of Steyning Station alongside the main road, but at the back here, behind all the undergrowth, you can see there still remains the wall. Further up that way is where Steve was with the really high retaining wall, but here you can see that this is the low wall along the back of the platform. So where I am currently standing would have been the platform of Steyning Station, which is rather exciting. It's very overgrown and muddy and full of litter, but the fact that this wall has stood here all that time remains testament to the people who built it and to the legacy of Steyning Station.